Hi, I'm Yogesh Mittal. I'm basically into software development for last 5 years. I ended up being a developer because it was my dream since I was in 12th. I always loved the way computers work, how the software, how you can just program a thing and you can get up with your answers, you can solve a problem and get a solution with the program. So I have a fascination towards software development. So that's why I started. Our company is basically a web development and mobile development company. What we do is we develop on third-party mobile platforms, mobile applications. So right now we are working on iPhone development. We are working on 2 iPhone applications and we are working on 2 web development projects. So we use Titanium, PhoneGap and other third-party tools to develop basically web-based technologies to develop these kind of systems. And we are basically more into client-side interaction. Our core strength is we try to give our websites more client interaction. So that's why RI is so important to us. We use for the backend we use ASP.NET and PHP, and for the database we use SQL Server and MySQL, and for the client side we use various technologies like jQuery, JavaScript, and Flash a bit, but all other open source platform we use quite a lot like Mojo, Dojo. I think the .NET technology is like our core. For the backend, we use .NET much. So because open source is like we do not get that much talent for open source right now in Delhi. So we are more focused on .NET. For the client side, we prefer jQuery and JavaScript. That is what we are currently using. Mobile platforms are very important for our company because currently we are using 2 mobile platforms. That is, one is Titanium from Accelerator and one is PhoneGap from Nitobi. So these 2 platforms are very important for us because these give us ability to develop for mobiles without actually knowing the languages which are used to develop on those mobile phones like iPhone and Android. For both of the platforms, we use these mobile platforms and we use our core web technologies like HTML5, CSS3, and we use these technologies to develop a native Android or iPhone app. I think to be a web developer in this day and age, you need to, earlier what used to happen, one used to focus on server side technology a lot because the processing of the web was largely remained with the server, but now it is shifting towards the client. So client side processing, you have to shift your focus on that. So that's why we are using much more and more of jQuery, JQuery Flash is a lot used, but the problem with the Flash is just that it is not available on mobile platforms, a lot of mobile platforms. The difference between India and other countries is the price point. It is very low over here. We have a lot of talent with low cost because of the urban area developing, the middle class is developing in India. More and more people are coming into IT, so we can get cheap talent. So the price factor is coming down for India. That's why everybody is looking towards India and other developing countries where they can get cheap software developed. For an Indian audience, I think mobile device, we have a lot of penetration of mobile devices. For urban areas, we have 2 mobile phones for every person. But the penetration of smartphones in India is very less. So basically the touch-based devices, we have a very low level of penetration of touch-based devices in India. So currently, when we target an Indian audience for some client, then we don't don't give so much preference for the RAs for mobile platforms. But yes, in future, like in 5 years or so, smartphones and touch-based devices will be prevalent in India also. So in future, by keeping future in mind, we are actually looking towards that, and we are developing capacity to develop for mobile platforms in India also. The qualities which currently web design companies in India lack is basically the design capacity, the interaction design capacity. Right now, we do not have that level of talent in India. We do not have the institutions to educate for the interaction design thing. In US and UK, if we'll see, we have design institutes which specifically teach the design aspect of anything. But in India, we do not have much. We do have some good institutes like NID and all, but not much. But we need to develop our capacity to develop the system as a whole on the paper first, and then go on and design it on the web. The recent trend which we have noticed is the use of JavaScript in the mobile application front by using some extensions like jQuery and JQTouch. They are being used heavily. We are also using them heavily for developing mobile applications, and they are being used all over the world. Flash, because of the iPhone, it has taken a back seat because iPhone does not support Flash. Otherwise, for client-based, for desktop-based interaction, Flash is also a very good platform. For budding web developers, I would suggest that you have to shift your focus more towards client-side processing, because web is shifting towards client now. The more and more processing is shifting towards client. So you have to shift your focus towards the client, and you have to develop by keeping the design of the client in mind, the processing power of the client, and how do you want your client to interact with your website. The interaction part is very important. So you have to keep in mind the interaction process and design accordingly.